Hi guys, James at RampantLionReviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to head down to Manchester once again, and this is a brewery who I've visited once before for an IPA, and this time we're going to go to the opposite end of the scale. So for this one we're going to go to Track Brewing Co once again, and today we're having a taste of their Nix, which is an Imperial Stout at 10% ABV. As I said, this brewery are probably better known for their hazy IPAs and things like that, but this was a beer that was very kindly given to me by Stuart Pickard, of course, Stuggy Pickard from the Ginger Ale Ale Trio. He got me this one with his glass deposit when we actually went to visit the brewery tap. So looking forward to trying this one. Thank you to Stuart for the beer, and as always I hope you guys enjoy my take on this one. So anyway, as is usual with my review then, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery. If you want to get straight to the tasting, of course, just fast forward. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery website, the link to my other reviews that I've done from Track Brewing before. No doubt we will be able to do some more in the near future. There's all the usual social media. If you want to see more beer reviews, do please consider subscribing to the channel. The whole channel, of course, has a geography-based tagging system, so you can go into the homepage and search for beer based on country, city or state, whatever it is you're interested in. Do check out the playlist of beers from different countries. There is one there for all the English beers that I've reviewed for you. That's constantly being added to, and as always, please do get in touch and let me know some of the other beers and breweries that you guys would like to see me review. It's always great to hear from you guys that are watching the videos, and the support that you show the channel is hugely appreciated. So anyway, to tell you a little bit about Track Brewing Co then. So as I've told you before, Track Brewing are based in Piccadilly in Manchester, and they were founded back in 2014 by Sam Dyson. Now, Sam studied maths and economics at university, and he homebrewed while he was studying, basically because it was a source of cheap beer, but it was also the fact that he was very interested in the science of brewing and the creativity it allowed. He liked the idea that it had a very central process, but you had these four main ingredients that you could play around with so much and still get such different products, and that's pretty much the same as why I like brewing. I think brewing is really interesting in that way. Cement chemistry is another one that's kind of like that. You can do so many different things with it, but he remains the head brewer for the brewery today, and they also have a second brewer now who's called Matt. But the brewery itself is located on Sheffield Street, which is very, very close to the Piccadilly station actually in Manchester, and up there there's a lot of different food producers, lots of different breweries as well, Cloudwater, Alphabet, loads of other things around there, and every Friday and Saturday they open up the brewery as a tap room as well. Like I said to you, this brewery are particularly known for the kind of hazy IPAs and stuff like this, so this beer isn't one that you're going to find all that often from what I gather. The vast majority of their beers are IPAs, New England IPAs, Pale Ales and stuff like that. So you would have seen me reviewing the Go to the Sun a few videos back, which was a really nice beer. So hopefully the Imperial Stout, which obviously is at the other end of the scale, is a very nice beer as well. But yeah, that's all you really need to know about the brewery. Follow them on Facebook and you can keep up to date with what's going on with them. And as I say, the IPAs that they produce are pretty damn good, so you definitely want to check them out. So yeah, let's get on to the tasting of this beer then. So this one is a 10% Imperial Stout. It tells you on the back here, it says there's oats, dextrose and in this one, so it should give you a kind of quite a nice smooth quality, I would say. Oats and stouts are always kind of quite nice, and dextrose does give you that lovely creamy mouthfeel. There you can see the Track Brewing cap on this one. The artwork on this one is a little bit different to the other ones that I've had from them previously, and this is best before the 19th of February 2020, so you could age this for a little while if you wanted. Actually, you probably could age it longer than that, I would think. I'm not sure what the basis of only giving it 2 years is, but usually you can age an Imperial Stout for quite a wee while. But I want to drink it fairly kind of freshish because I'm actually quite curious about it, so we'll see how we get on with it. And I do like that track symbol there. I'm sure Peter at the Clueless Drinker, he would love the artwork on these ones. He's into all of that sort of thing. But yeah, let's get this guy out and we'll get on with the tasting then. Sneezing a little bit just before the video, which is why I sound as if I'm a little bit kind of clogged up, but I should still be alright to have a go at smelling this beer. You can smell some of that lovely chocolatey quality coming out of this as you open it up. But yeah, look at that. Lovely, lovely dark beer. So yeah, as you can see, and as you would expect from the Imperial Stout style, to be honest, it's poured a nice dark ebony rosewood colour. There's a 2/3, 3/4 finger of a frothy dark beige tan head. This one, some big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass and quite a few little ones just heading up towards the bottom of that head there. But overall, you know, it looks pretty nice. It looks exactly as you'd expect from the Imperial Stout. If I hold it up to the light, it's actually not even got like a mahogany or a ruby edge or anything to it. It is pretty much just pretty much kind of pitch black, if you like, just completely ebony rosewood kind of thing. But yeah, it looks really, really nice. So let's take a closer look at the aroma then and just see how we get on. Yeah. So, as you would expect with this, you've got a nice bit of a roasty black malt backbone in there. There's quite a lot of high cocoa chocolate coming out of this one for me as well. I do like that about this. It's got a nice high cocoa chocolate in there. It's almost got a little bit of a kind of smoky quality to it as well, which is interesting. It's not like rauchy or anything like that, but you can tell there's a little bit of an almost ashy kind of smoky note to this one. But yeah, some high cocoa chocolate in there. There's a bit of a sweet milky chocolate in there. I do wonder if that's the dextrose and stuff that they've added to the beer in this one. That might be what's giving you the sort of milky chocolate impression with this. And you can smell that there's almost, pardon me, a little bit of a bready quality to this beer as well, which is interesting. It's almost got just a little bit of a kind of brown breadish quality. And if you take it in quite deeply, you can get like a little bit of licorice out of this one too. And maybe I think there's a little bit of a kind of spicy woody note to this one actually. Or dry, no, probably more dried wood actually. It's got a really kind of dry wood, kind of almost like workshop aroma to it, which is quite interesting. Obviously there's a little bit of earthy hop in there. I'm not getting much fruity quality off of this though. Sometimes you get a nice little bit of red fruity character out of the beer. But I'm not getting too much of that in this one. Yeah, it's a really interesting aroma that, so take a little bit of time and just enjoy it. There's some really interesting qualities. Like I say, it's got this little bit of ashy quality, the kind of almost a wood workshop kind of thing that's coming out of this one. It's quite interesting. But yeah, some nice cocoa, some nice high cocoa chocolate, a little bit of milkier chocolate as well, which I suspect is the dextrose. But yeah, just take a little bit of time and enjoy the aroma of this beer before you get stuck in. It does smell really nice. So yeah, this one is the Nix, a 10% Imperial Stout from Track Brewing Company down in Piccadilly in Manchester. Let's get stuck in. Slàinte, Skull. Thank you once again to Stuggy Picard for this one. Yeah. That's pretty nice. It's... What I would say about this one is that it definitely leans a little bit more towards the kind of roasty, toasty, bitter side of things. It's remarkably light in its mouthfeel as well. That's one thing I would say about that. It's actually not too far away from an IPA mouthfeel, if that makes sense. Normally you would expect an Imperial Stout to be a little bit thicker in the mouthfeel than this, but it actually does work. I mean, mouthfeel for me, it's a little bit important to be fair, but it's not the most important aspect to the beer. The most important point is the flavour, and for me, this is a good Imperial Stout. There's nothing wrong with that, but this one is kind of remarkably light in its mouthfeel. Although in fairness, when you start taking the beer in a little bit more and your mouth mellows out to it, you do actually start to get a little bit more of it does almost kind of thicken out a little bit, but I would say definitely the water that's in this beer, it has a little bit of a minerally quality to it, which maybe is what's making it feel a little bit lighter. I'm not sure if I made the same comment about the Going to the Sun, the IPA that I had from them a few videos back, but for me, this beer does remind me a little bit of some of the Imperial Stouts that I had, for example, from Borgbrook, who's up in Iceland. Their beers had this really minerally quality to them. They almost tasted really clean in a way, if that makes sense. And this one has that same kind of feel to it, which is interesting. But yeah, I like how this one comes across. As I said, it leans a little bit towards the roasty toasty side of things, but this one is more kind of about how the different flavours blend together, if you like. It's nice, it's just nicely done, I would say that about it. So yeah, with this one, there's a bit of a nice roasty kind of malt base to it. You've definitely got a little bit of black malt in there. On top of that, you can feel some nice kind of brown bready kind of qualities to it, which is nice. The brown sugars in this are really quite toasted. It actually doesn't have all that much sweetness in that regard. It comes out a little bit in the aftertaste. You can feel it just sweetening up a little bit as you progress further and further into the aftertaste. You've seen how long it was since I took a sip of that beer, and you can feel it just gradually sort of sweetening up a little bit. but for me it really does lean towards the more roasty toasty side of things, the black malt base. And that said, actually, the roasty elements that this has are a little bit smoother than some of the Imperial Stouts that you're going to come across. The smooth roasty character is actually really intertwined with the sort of brown bready feel that this beer has. As you go further and further into the aftertaste as well, you do get a little bit of the chocolate out of this one. And I would say it's a high cocoa chocolate that's coming out of this one. It's a high cocoa quality that's coming out of this one. There's not so much of the milky quality. And again, now that I say that, maybe the dextrose that's in this beer could be something that's smoothing out the mouthfeel a little bit and just making it feel that little bit cleaner. But I like how this beer comes across. It's definitely one you'll taste it at the beginning and you'll be like, you know, what's this all about? It feels far too light. But see, when you actually get your palate used to it a little bit more, you can pick out a lot more. This beer, I think it's fair to say for me, this beer's a bit of a grower. I think you need to take a few sips of this beer to get what it's all about. But yeah, the sweeter, you are starting to get some of the high cocoa chocolate in this one. Later on, as your mouth adjusts to it, you start to get a little bit of the more milky chocolate, a little bit of that kind of lactosey, dextrosey thing starts to come out, and you can feel there's a little bit of a kind of nutty quality to the beer as well. Back corners of the palate, there's a nice little bit of earthiness there. As you come further forward, that kind of bitterness sort of spreads and sticks there, and around the very front curve of the palate you just get a little bit of the grassiness too, but some of that earthiness, interestingly enough, is kind of sitting there. This beer, it definitely takes a little bit of a while to come out of its shell more than anything. Your palate really needs a bit of time to adjust to this one, so just bear that in mind when you try it. But yeah, on the fruity side of things, behind the front curve of the palate on this one, it's got a nice kind of there's definitely a little element of a figgy note in there, but I think there's a little bit of a kind of raisiny sharpness coming out of this one as well. It's not quite as juicy as plums or anything like that. I think it's definitely figs and raisins that I'm getting out of this one. It's just got the juicy quality that comes out of the fruit on this one is really nice. But this Imperial Stout's definitely one that's more about how the flavours kind of blend together rather than anything else. It's not too punchy in any one regard, although I would say in the grand scheme of the style it leans a little bit more towards the kind of roasty, bitter side of things. But it's a lovely, lovely beer. That I do like that. But the one thing that's quite unique about it is how light it is in the mouthfeel. But at the same time, it covers it 10%. You know, there's a fair whack of alcohol in there. It covers it really, really well considering how light the mouthfeel is. You can say that about this beer straight up. And what I would say is that it gradually becomes more sweet as you kind of progress through it as well. I wouldn't hesitate to drink this beer again. I'd love to see these guys have a go at a Scotch ale or something like that. I think with this kind of mouthfeel and stuff, they've got to be really interested to see how it plays out with a Scotch ale. I think it would be really nice because they've done a good job with this Imperial Stout. I'd love to see how they get on with a kind of more sweeter leaning Imperial Stout as well, but they've done a nice job of that, and I certainly wouldn't hesitate to drink it again. So if you like a nice kind of roasty toasty Imperial Stout, this one's going to tick the boxes for you. The unique thing, like I say, is the mouthfeel. So in terms of the mouthfeel then, you know, I'd say this beer is at the lower end of mid-bodied. If you compare it to some of the IPAs, the mouthfeel in this one is pretty much the same, although in fairness, it does have maybe a little bit more kind of creaminess to it because of the style. They've maybe put a little bit more dextrose in this. The carbonation's very, very smooth. It does have a little bit of an oily character. For me, it's a little bit more wet. I think there's a bit of that almost kind of minerally quality. If you've tried Icelandic beers, the mouthfeel of this one reminds me a lot of those, the kind of feeling that you get from the oiliness and the water quality. There's a good bit of bitterness from the malt base in this one, but it's balanced out quite well with the sweetness. The sweetness takes a little bit of time to come out, I think. I think this is one, like I say, where your palate has to adjust to it a little bit. There's a little bit of bitterness from the hops, but overall they're quite smooth, and there's a nice little bit of juicy, fruity character in there as well. But overall, really nice beer, and I certainly wouldn't hesitate to drink it again. It's really nice stuff. So if you get the chance to try the Nicks from Track Brewing Company, definitely have a go at it, and their IPAs are very, very good as well. So pick up a few and see how you get on, because they've got some lovely beers there, and it is a brewery that seems to be very highly rated and up and coming. So yeah, that's all you can really say about this one. So pardon me, once again, thank you for watching my beer reviews. Until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Let me know your own thoughts on this one in the comment section below. Let me know what your favourite beers are from Track Brewing Company as well. This is only the second time that I'm trying one of them. Hopefully I can get some more in the near future. But let me know your own thoughts on this. Let me know what your favourite ones are. And I have to say, if you like a nice roasty toasty Imperial Stout, you are going to enjoy this one. If you like, for example, some of the I think it is at the Surtur from Borgbrughus in Iceland. This one reminds me quite a bit of that. The Imperial Stouts that I've had from the breweries in Iceland, this one reminds me quite a lot of them. So if you like those, have a go at this and see how you get on. But thank you once again for watching, and I will catch you guys very soon. The next from Track Brewing Company in Piccadilly in Manchester. Thank you again to Stuggy Picard for this beer. Do make sure you go and check out Ginger Ale Trail. Slàinte just now.